So we're going to jump into yet again another Patreon listener question, but because it's such a special one, I figured we'd bring back the man of the hour, the Tower of Power. We got Jaws D with us.
Ahoy, hoy.
So Jaws D is going to join us for this listener question. Once again, if you're interested in being part of the Transformer Slag Patreon, and you want to have your name in the credits at the end, or you want to get special Discord access to the special Discord where we post exclusive content from Transformers history, lore, and more. If you want to get a special gift in the mail, depending on what tier you join through the old snail mail. And of course, most importantly, the Patreon listener question. We have a Patreon listener question from our Primus tier member, Deep Freeze. And he wants to know, and this is why I brought Jaws D on here, he wants to know, hey, Proto Man, in the spirit or spooky spirit of the holidays, that's how he wrote it. He wrote spooky spirit of the holidays. Did you ever dress up as a Transformer for Halloween? I know you said you grew up on G1, and I was wondering if you or any of your friends ever did dress up as a Transformer. If not, what costumes did you dress up as a kid? Were any of them pop culture related or anything cool like that? Happy Halloween, Deep Freeze.
I like this question.
Yeah, well, that's why I brought you on, because we've had quite a few Halloweens together. So I was just like, man, okay, I got to bring him on for this. So I'll let you go first, because I got this question, and I actually took a moment to plot out my childhood of what I got, because each one of them kind of has a little story. But I'll let you go first. Lay it on us.
Okay. All right. So I think one of my Halloweens that I did was I definitely dressed up as Ryu from Street Fighter.
Oh, I have one too.
I could not find, I used I was taking judo at the time, so I used my judo gi, and I had a white belt or yellow belt at the time. I did not have a red bandana or some kind of wet red fabric for my forehead, so someone had a white one, but this was before
Alpha?
Street Fighter Alpha was
Nice.
a thing yet. So this was before that. So I think I was modeling it after the Street Fighter animated movie Ryu, and I was just a little bit disappointed I didn't have a red bandana of any kind. But I was surprised to find out that apparently Ryu's determination band, I think that's what it's called, right?
Well, it's also if someone dies. If someone dies in Japanese culture, sometimes you wear a white bandana. So I think that was supposed to represent his master Goki. I think that's what I want. Okay. That's what I perceive. I think. Also, spoiler: that's grade 5 for me. So you'll see. But
so
different,
that was one of my
similar story. Similar story.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, continue.
So that was my Halloween. I can't remember what year that was, but I remember I was pretty young. The following year, I dressed up as Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. And my godfather and a friend of his helped me create that costume. My godfather also does, Carnival, Caribbean, Carnival costumes and stuff like that.
The extravagant costumes, pretty much, that you see from like when they do parades and stuff too. To give an example, yeah.
Yeah, so I enlisted his help, and the only reference image I could give him was the Mortal Kombat novelization that came out before the movie, or it wasn't based on the movie, or it wasn't based on the movie at all. But
did that have photos at least? I hope
it had so you have Goro as the big image on the front, but then in the bottom left hand, you see Sub-Zero, and then in the bottom left hand corner you see Scorpion, but you barely see him. And in that image you would see they would, instead of using black, they would use blue, like a navy blue, to how sometimes in sometimes when you see Venom drawn in comic books, they don't really use black. They use a navy blue.
The way the tinge is. Yeah.
Yeah. So my Scorpion costume, all the parts that are supposed to be in black were in a dark navy blue, because that's what the image that they had to go on. And they used those masks you would use if you were taking out, if you were doing some sanding work or something like that. And so they covered.
Pretty much, it's kind of topical to the world we're in today, but those K95 masks, pretty much.
Well, not K95, but you would use it for sanding work, or homework, work you would do on renovation work or something like that. So not specifically K95, but like, you know, something equivalent to that.
Yeah.
And they covered that with yellow felt and then put on these like these, they would cut out little circles and they would stick it on to be the holes of the mask, basically.
That's pretty cool. I'm kind of jealous of that. I would have loved to be like, I would have loved to be like a reptile one year. That would have been so cool. Oh my God.
Yeah. And it did a really good job. And I was like super proud of it and everything. And I remember that year, a lot of kids were ninjas that year, or at least the year after that. Another year, I was like, I dressed up as a SWAT person. So I used the...
God damn, Wendell again, also something. Jeez. 2 peas in a pod, I'm telling you. Anyways, continue.
But that was... So, like, that was just me being creative, and I would take the equipment I had for rollerblading.
Oh, really?
I would use
okay.
That, yeah, so I used that as the knee pads, the elbow pads.
Yeah, I could see that.
The hand guards, like the wrist guards, I would take out the hard plastic in it and use that as, like, gloves kind of thing. And then I had, like, this, like... big chunky water gun that kind of looked real, but it was like big and orange and green, so I'd use that as my... and then I fashioned a holster out of a belt and some cardboard.
Hey, gotta be creative back then.
That's one thing I remembered. That was all in, like, I think elementary school, I think, or like slowly going into high school. And in high school I did Conan, the wrestler from WCW, when he was part of the Wolfpack.
NWO,
so I think,
red and black.
Yeah, so I think I borrowed your NWO Wolfpack shirt.
Yeah, well, just to preface, we'll have some of the images of this stuff in the bottom, so we'll try to have some of those images for people to see the wackiness from the past. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, and then I think a friend of ours had like hairspray for like to color your hair. So like my hair was colored white. And so I just kind of rolled like that, and then going into, I guess, college / professional life. One of the things I dressed up as was Run from Run DMC. So here comes more pop culture and more music related stuff. So I already wear glasses, so that was easy. I had a T-shirt that said Run DMC and it was like on a chain kind of thing that I bought earlier. I had a black hoodie. I had an actual fedora that I went out and bought and got fitted for. And I had a black leather jacket. So it worked out really, really well. And it also helped that the T-shirt just said Run DMC, so people could automatically knew who I was. I think the following year from that, I dressed up as a Wu-Tang Clan ninja from the Mystery of Chess Boxing. So that was a little bit more obscure, but I was really happy when one person figured out who I was. So I had a white hoodie. I bought 2 Jason machetes to go as the swords, the kind of like broad Chinese swords,
like the wide katanas, I guess.
Yeah, like the very, very wide swords that they have. I also had some like Chinese gentleman shoes. I bought some foot wraps, so like something that you would use for like Muay Thai or something like that. I bought those. I bought hand wraps that you get like from a boxing gym and stuff, all in black, and I wrapped up the white hoodie and everything. And I think I had a white jogging pants as well, so it came out really well. And I think only one person, I went to a party and only one person knew who I was at that party, but it was super worth it. I think I did very well. Another year, to have some spooktacular savings, what I did was I reused that black fedora and I dressed up as Elwood Blues from the Blues Brothers. So I just already had a black suit, I had a black tie. And what I did was I was working in an office at the time, so I would go up to certain people that knew who the Blues Brothers were, and I would be like, I'm on a mission from Yad, and I would walk around the office and play the Blues Brothers theme, which I think is the Dragnet theme. Dun 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 dun.
Well, there's a few. Yeah,
I think it was the Dragnet theme.
Yeah.
So I had that blaring in my pocket, in my breast pocket of my jacket, and I would walk around the office just very seriously, like how they did in the opening of that movie. And that was a good one.
This was when you worked at game testing still?
Yeah, this was game testing.
So then you could have just told them if they didn't understand that, be like, the Runway 5 from Earthbound? No?
Nah, they wouldn't. I don't think that'd be even more obscure.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think some people would get it,
yeah,
some hardcore
maybe.
people would get it, but I think it's just as obscure.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then a few years ago, I dressed up as Drake from Hotline Bling.
And
I got the dance down and everything. So a friend of mine, she used some eyeliner to draw in the beard for me and everything. And then when I went to a party, I was just doing the dance and everything, and everyone kind of got it. And a few years ago, I did a couple's costume, and I dressed up as Mulder, and my girlfriend dressed up as Scully from the X-Files. So the only thing we really had to do was, make sure we had our suits and everything, and we made sure to have little clips that said that we're part of the FBI and had our faces, our character faces
the
on
little
it.
FBI badge thingy. Yeah.
Badges, yeah. And what I wanted to do was do what they did in The Simpsons. Yeah, where he's in that Burt Reynolds pose. Yeah. That like half naked Burt Reynolds pose is like just Mulder and Scully.
But it would have to be you though. You can't just do. You'd have to have that act. Just just have that image from The Simpsons.
It
had to be you. You can't ruin the suspension of disbelief. Anyways,
that one was fun because I think we went to a party and we got our stuff on, and then we came out the bathroom just like, and we played the theme song, and we're looking around making sure everything's okay. But yeah, that's my list from what I remember what I did.
For me, I listed it by like school years and everything. So and I have crystal clear memory of this stuff. So that's what. So my very first costume I ever had, it was 1980. This also is going to date how old I am. It was 1987. I was 4 years old. And I wanted to go as a ghost, just as a typical straight up sheet on the head ghost, right? I learned very quickly doing Halloween with my family and everything, how completely impractical that is as an outfit. It is not like Charlie Brown,
Right.
Doesn't matter how many holes you cut. You're tripping over that thing. It's not in front of your head. Years later, I was like thinking like, oh, maybe if you put a halo or something, like it would make it stay. But then it loses the whole, roundness. Anyways, bad idea. I don't suggest to anyone try to be a ghost unless it's like face paint or something. The old sheet over the head with the two circles just didn't...
Well, I remember this old Canadian show called Today's Special when someone was dressed up as a ghost. They put a rubber band around the neck.
See, like some kind of halo. Yeah, that would have probably done better. But so that was mistake number one. So then 1988 grade 1, I remember we were at a Halloween store when we were like near a friend's country house, and I remember seeing this police helmet that was kind of like a SWAT police helmet, if anything. Picture like Murphy from RoboCop, like the kind of helmets that he had, but it was like white instead of blue like Murphy's was. And I was like, and again, 1988, loved RoboCop, and I was just like, I want to be a police officer. I want to be like, but specifically because of that one thing. So in grade 1, 1988, I went as like a police officer, but specifically like that kind of like SWAT helmet police officer thing. It probably was like a motorcycle police officer thing, if anything. And all I did was, dress shirt, the badge, jean pants kind of thing. I remember I had like a little club and stuff that I was carrying with. I wasn't allowed to take a fake gun to school. So
yeah, exactly.
Because it was one of those things where you dressed up at school that day and you also went trick-or-treating if it was like a school day. And I remember it was. And I remember everyone was like, we're knocking on top of my head going like, how hard is that? The helmet. Grade 2, this is when my mom went out of her way and was absolutely incredible with how she put this together. Grade 2, 1989, Super Mario. She found this like train conductor's hat, but like an old school one, and she dyed it red, and it was like the spitting image of like cartoon Mario's hat. Like it was so like perfect. She just found it and she was just like, this is, and she dyed it red and it looked great. She put an M on it. She found red suspenders. How we kind of cheated. We didn't have overalls. So instead what we did was we got red pants that was large. And then she got red suspenders. And this is when Mario used to wear red overalls, not like how he is today. It's, old school Mario. Old school Mario was red overalls, blue shirt. Mario today is red shirt, blue overalls. But so, got the white gloves. And what she wanted to do too is she wanted to like fashion some kind of a mushroom I could hold, because we were basing this off of the Mario 2 box art. Okay. And we didn't get that done in time, but she managed to get the mustache. And what was great about this story was, I don't know if I ever told you this story.
No, I don't think so.
Hilarious. So my uncle for years had a mustache, and he used to live the floor below us. And my mom got me the fake mustache, and she thought, wouldn't be anyway. So my uncle comes upstairs, right, and he has the fake mustache on, right? Yeah. And he goes up to me. He's like, "Oh, look what your mom got. She got your mustache. Why don't you pull it off?" And so I pull off the mustache. Keep in mind, my whole life, my uncle had a mustache. I pull it off, and my uncle Jaime goes, "Oh my God, what'd you do?" And he has no more mustache. He shaved it off, right? And here I am freaking out, going like, "Oh my God, what did I just do?"
Oh my goodness.
My uncle was crazy. I attribute a lot to my personality. I attribute to him. So she got like a removable mustache and everything, and actually wasn't too itchy or anything. And I went to Super Mario, and that was boss. Like I remember, I remember going to school that day, grade 2, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." And then like one of my friends at the time was like, "Why didn't you tell me? I would have went as Luigi." And I was like, I would. So I was so happy about that one. And there's got to be photos somewhere of that, like old, old photos probably kicking around, or even like video. Grade 3, this one was one of my more lazier ones because I did a lot of hockey growing up. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go as a goalie, more specifically Ken Dryden, who was like my favorite goalie of all time. And my logic was, because when you go trick-or-treating, like how you have your bag, right? My logic was, if I bring a hockey stick and I run the hockey stick through the loops of the bag, I could just hold the bag like that and people could just put the candy in. You know what I mean? Like, you're holding a hockey stick like two-handed. Yeah. Like you could just kind of hold it sideways like you're cross-checking someone, and they could just put the candy in. So traditional goalie mask, every single person thought I was just doing Jason from like Friday the 13th.
Oh, too bad.
But that's because of Ken Dryden's style of his mask. It's that right. Old school kind of mask, as opposed to like, the traditional ones that we know today. Yeah,
the ones that we have now.
Yeah, the full cage as we call it. That was grade 3, 1990. 1991, grade 4, Batman Returns had just ended. And I wanted to go as Batman, Keaton Batman, really bad. Again, my mom pulled out the stops. She somehow like fashioned a buff kind of Batman suit out of like, just took a black shirt with long sleeves, buffed it up with like cotton and stuff under it. She found like a button, like and I still own this button to this day, this super oversized button of the Batman logo from the movies. She managed to like crop that button and just have the shape of the logo, not just the circle of the button itself. Pin that to the chest. Again, black, felt, whatever, for the cape. And then she found a mask, but not like a full cowl, just like, like a front mask kind of. And it was slightly larger than what a kid would be able to wear, so she kind of like modified it a bit to make it a little smaller. And I was Batman. And now my friend was warned in advance this time, and he went as Superman. And what was cool about that, because that one, we went to school, and then there was like a house party, like a friend had like a Halloween house party, so we went to that, and so that was really cool. And then we went trick-or-treating in the rich area where he lived. So like, if anyone, word of advice for any young kids listening, if you're going to trick-or-treat, go to the rich area. That's where you get the full chocolate bars from the doctors and lawyers. Yeah. And that was 91 in grade 4. Grade 5, this is where we clash again. Ryu. It was 1990. It was 1992. Street Fighter was taking over the effing world, and I just wanted a easy, cheap costume, and originally I wanted to do something more akin to Bison, but that was like, I don't know, it was way out of my league. And then here I have a bathrobe, white bathrobe, white pants, and just got a piece of I want to say it was red pantyhose, like as in the pantyhose that you wear on your feet. that I made the bandana. And then just for the heck of it, I don't know why, I think it was maybe whatever my sister was doing at the time. I thought, why don't I do Ryu, but like the defeated portrait Ryu, so I have a little blood on the face. Just because she had that paint or whatever for like fake blood. So I did like Ryu with like a little bit of a busted up face. And I went as Ryu for grade 5. And that one, some people recognize that one again. And at school, like everyone knew what that was. And grade 6, this was the legendary mask. There was you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this one now.
And I'll have a photo of it too. We had a Halloween store in the mall across from our house, me and Wendell. And they just had like, this was like the beginning of like the really nice rubber masks that were starting to become a thing. And they had a whole bunch of Street Fighter ones. They had Blanka, they had Ryu, they had Ken, they had some X-Men ones. And I don't know why, I just bought Guile. I don't know why, maybe because I just liked that one, but I bought the Guile one, and I went as Guile for grade 6.
Well, I would have assumed that Guile was your guy at the time, no?
He was probably the first character that I learned how to do moves with. Like, if I really pinpoint my Street Fighter gaming history, doing charge attacks were easier for at the time, I think I want to say 7-year-old Daniel to learn. No, I think it was 8. So like, I knew I learned how to use Guile back then, but I mean, like Street Fighter 2, I main usually Ken, but I also have a very good Blanka and Bison and Vega. Like Street Fighter 2, there's a lot of people I use. But so I went as Guile, and then after that point, this was grade 6, 1993. After that point on, I just milked the hell out of that Guile mask. Every year, I just wore the Guile mask. Like, I didn't even do the costume sometimes because it would be so cold. I would just wear the Guile mask like year after year after year. So long that like there's photos of me and Jaws D. Like I don't know how old you were when we did the Conan one. I think it was already like 2001 or something. No, I think it was earlier than that. But the point is that
it was before you graduated, and I graduated in 03.
Yeah, so there you go. So like I milked it for like a good 7 years. And the epilogue of that story is when I moved years later, I go to dig up that Guile mask. It just deteriorated. It like the rubber just died after all those years. So rest in peace, Guile mask. It definitely got its money's worth. And the last one I'm going to bring up, and it's an adult one, like one that I did years later because I didn't really do much trick-or-treating afterwards as much as I would have loved to get all that free candy. You just reach a point where you just can't get away with it anymore.
You're like, I could just buy it.
Yeah, you could just buy it. Just buy a bag at that point.
I could just hoard it.
Yeah. This was actually not too long ago. How was it, 2 years ago, Wendell, when I did this? I think it was 2 years ago. The same party that Wendell went to as Fox Mulder, I went as Nightwing from the Batman animated series, specifically the Batman and Robin Season 3 Batman the Animated Series one. And that one was very easy to do. That was a color suit, which is pretty much what the base of like a Power Ranger outfit is. And just a little bit of fabric that matches that simple outfit, some gloves.
Yeah, just think of a bodysuit all in black.
Very easy.
Like you would see like
those simple Bruce Timm designs, like they're
you would see these bodysuits with people that do VFX work. So there'll be like a person dressed up all in green or all in blue, or sometimes they'll be doing like a puppet show and it'll be all in black kind of thing, head to toe.
So that I managed to find like a Zorro mask, which all these costume shops have like a million of, and then I kind of modified that a bit. And again, the blue fabric matched the Nightwing logo because it's the Bruce Timm design, so it's a lot less elaborate. And that's it. Plain and simple. All I needed was the mullet. Didn't have that. Probably should have grown that.
Yeah, I thought you would have gone all in on the mullet.
But maybe next time. You know what? I still have the outfit. I probably still fit in it. I don't think I gained any weight since last time. So, who knows? Maybe one day. Maybe I've never. What's crazy? I've never cosplayed. So like, who knows? Maybe one day. Maybe I don't know.
I'm still waiting for that Dusty.
Yeah, well,
Dusty.
I would love to do.
Dusty
I would love
cosplay.
to do Dusty from G.I. Joe, and I'd love to do Long Arm from Cops. That's another one that we've always talked about. Like we would do like could do like Bulletproof, and I'd be like Long Arm. Like one day, who knows? But yeah, that's more or less it. What we'll do is we'll try to find photos that we've had from the past and fill out the bottom there with some photos of us from the craziness. But again, great question, Deep Freeze. That's why I wanted to have Jaws D on it, just because A lot of good memories with that and crazy stuff. So let me know, guys who are listening. What did you cosplay as? What did you do on Halloween? What was a really good costume that you did? Was it Transformers? Because the funny thing is that, again, 1987 was when I did that Ghost, right? Transformers was like kind of already on its way out. Ninja Turtles was already on its way in. Like, I even remember, like, I don't know if anyone knows this company, Collegeville. Collegeville was like the most ghetto company for costumes. It was always like a plastic mask and then a sweater, but the sweater was was like a logo of whatever that was. So if you were, so we, a friend of the podcast, David Lyon, he went as Michelangelo, but the Collegeville Michelangelo. So it's the plastic mask and then a sweater that says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, exactly.
They were so ghetto, those back then.
Yeah, I'm sure I had a bunch of those. I remember I had a Batman one of those, and
all the Transformer ones back in. The reason why I bring it up is because all the Transformer ones back in the day were from Collegeville. So,
but do you remember who did the ones where I think the costume itself was like a plastic?
Oh God, probably Collegeville. Also, I wouldn't be surprised. They were like the kings of budget Halloween. Like, Google Collegeville costumes. It goes back to the 60s. And in fact, people debate to this day, little fun fact, they say that the creators of Spider-Man, specifically Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, they say that they based Spider-Man's outfit off of a Collegeville ghetto costume called Arachnid Man that predates it by 2 years.
And then if you go and see the movie Into the Spider-Verse, that's what Miles Morales is wearing. That's what.
Oh, I didn't even know they referenced.
That's what Stan Lee sells him. Basically,
okay.
He sells him that really old costume. That's the little.
Okay.
That's the inside joke that's there.
Okay, cool. Anyways, but so yeah, look up Collegeville if you want to see some really ghetto ass outfits. And again, almost all the Transformer ones back in the day were based off of those, and even it bled into Ninja Turtles a little bit. Costumes didn't really start to get good until like the Power Ranger era, and what I mean by costumes, I mean like mainstream, go to Walmart and buy it kind of stuff. So it's around.
Pro Man, you did dress up as a Transformer. I think you dressed up as Optimus Prime.
Well, I don't count
like kinda. You don't count that one.
Those are me more. Because now I'm an older adult, and now it's more I give candy to kids. If anything.
Yeah, but it still counts.
So
it still counts.
So I'll post that maybe, I guess, too. So sometimes what I do is I get the Transformers 2007 movie helmet Optimus Prime. I get the transforming arm piece that has it's like this transforming arm that shoots.
It's like the truck, and it turns into the Optimus Prime's gun, basically.
Yeah, with his arm attached to it. So and I'll have that with the voice changer, and so when kids answer the door, it's like, "Hey, how you doing, kids?" And then one year I did the same thing because I have the Bumblebee one. I also have the Bumblebee helmet, and then I have the Bumblebee arm blaster, which also transforms from his hand to the blaster. So I'll do that too. And with the Bumblebee one, when you talk with the voice thing, it does the beeps and the boops and sometimes music. So it's I do little cool things like that, but that's more like for the kids, and give them their candy. Although it's probably not going to be the case this year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, let me know what you guys dressed up as. Pretty cool question. Again, thanks again, Deep Freeze. And again, as always, guys, happy Halloween. And we're doing it a day early because tomorrow we're going to have a stream. So enjoy it. Enjoy everything pretty much as best we can this year.
Happy Halloween.